Hello, and welcome. This is Julie with the Jewel Design, and today is sort of just a quick Etsy share. A little bit of my own and a little bit of some others that I will be working on the next month, because we are into the 5th of June. Oh my god. So, follow me on Instagram. You've seen some of this already. If you don't, this is new to you guys, then you're going to get a quick update. But first and foremost, we are looking at, I should say, a new set of digitals, two of them actually, but they're very much alike, in my shop today. So if you follow me, and you should have got your notifications seeing I had something new in my shop. If not, this will be a first heads up to you if you're new to me. And hey, here you go. So I had a subby request whether or not I could do a sort of a garden specimen catalog card. And she'd seen someone write it up, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I could write all these 50 million times, but could you make something like this so that we could digitally have them and print them out constantly?" And she needed 6x4 because she was putting in an old photo album to catalog all the plants that she has planted, so she knew how to take care of them. And so I thought, oh, isn't that super cute? Now, 4x6s or 6x4s are a little big for our journals half the time, but they are a nice large journal card for big pockets in a normal 9x6 journal. You can print these on any kind of paper, from cardstock, of course, but eco-dyed, coffee-dyed, whatever you want to make this a little more fun for a journal, but great for cardstock, of course, when you want them in something, hardy like an album, so that you can pull these out, take notes on it, and whatnot. So I went ahead and did also for more journaling side, I did them 5x3.5. This is more my 4-up size that I normally do for what feels like a sort of a larger journal card for a normal journal. And in this one, I lightened up a coffee dyed, splattered page that I created when I was doing the sewing journal. But this one was just sort of the coffee based part to give you a little something in the background to be able to go, well, I don't have anything colored or anything coffee dyed. And if you cut it on here, it does bleed off. So that way when you're cutting it, you shouldn't have any white. Nice and clean. Distress around it. Distress around the back, especially if it's going to be on white cardstock. Distress along the back, and then take a picture of that plant. What it should look like, what it does look like as you get into the summer, and it's doing well, or it's spring and it's at full bloom. Take a picture of that flower you're talking about. Glue it to the back of your card. Put it in your journal. Put it in your little catalog book that you want. And, you'll have a picture of what you're talking about. Besides just all this information, you'll have something cute on the back. Otherwise, the do's and don'ts, the trials and tribulations, anything you want is a great thing to, of course, write on the back of this. So just over-distress the edges on the back, and you have a card. If you aren't able to print front and back, and you don't have an eco-dyed paper or coffee-dyed paper, you're ready to go. But it comes in this way, and then it comes in just like this, where we print just on white, to print on any color you want, but in the 4-up. And I went ahead and printed mine on some cardstock that is green, and it's sort of a muted, looks like, fresh, like actual paper, like it's sort of marbled, as if it was a linen, textured parchment paper, but it's all in greens. And I thought, well, isn't that cute for garden cards, right? Do some heavy distressing, put some information on the back, and you're good to go. So you get the 5x3.5, you get the 4x6, and you get the 5x3.5 also with a distressed image on the back, right? So this is the Garden Specimen catalog card in my Etsy shop now. Super happy about that. And then I have a sewing version, because I was like, what else could you possibly catalog? There's got to be something else. So I thought, oh my gosh, you're sewing patterns. Why wouldn't you do this? Now, 6x4 is a little big, but it may fit nicely into the pattern itself, or tape it to the front of the pattern, or who knows. But the name of the pattern, the designer, if it's a skill set, beginning, intermediate, advanced, what kind of category, was it an item, a kid, an adult thing, was it a hobby, other, if it's seasonal, what type of fabrics you should use, how much yardage. It's a quick at a glance way to look at your patterns and decide which one you want, what you're looking for. Maybe if you have a name on it, you may also decide with the designer, there's room to put some kind of index number on it, right? It all depends on how you store your fabric patterns or your sewing patterns. So I did the 6x4. If you really wanted to go, cut just inside the gray border, and you're good to go. Print it on any cardstock paper or paper that fits for you. And then you have it again in the same size, same thing, but a smaller size. And this time I used a beige color, a beige linen cardstock that we adore. Love it when I want to antique something up. And again, you're going to cut right inside these lines that I cut for you. I did do it pretty easily. It looks like it's really off, but I know it's not. I had to cut them. I cut them all the first time. So you have them where you can, again, print it on any paper that you want, so you don't have to worry about the back. And then you get definitely a detailed one. Now this one I lightened up one of my favorite coffee dyed fabric and pattern collage page that I created for the So Vintage. And this is under So Vintage Pattern Catalog Journal Cards. So when you bring up So Vintage, everything that's associated with this will come up. There's quite a few things. And wouldn't this be great to add another layer of journal cards to your kits? Especially if you're doing a lot of sewing journals and you have a lot of friends or hobbies, this is a great card. So it has some has some things behind it for some detail, but again, you would just overly distress the edges, and you could write more notes and things that are, notes about this pattern that you really want to remember. But I think the cataloging option and taking notes on your certain patterns and your favorite plants, it's a really cute idea both for journals and just fun ways to organize our hobbies, right? So there you go. So you have a So Vintage pattern catalog card, and you have the Garden Specimen catalog cards now in my Etsy shop, right? Super happy with these. I think they're so much fun. You can, and I used old, graphics and stuff that are all sort of vintage and I've used constantly through my kits. So again, great with botanical, great with gardening, great with the So Vintage stuff. The So Vintage kit was out in 2021, so that's an oldie but goodie. So there you go. Now, on the other side, I am doing a little bit of a Etsy share for others. Now, these are not brand new. These are things that have been out for a while. But I just finally started playing with some purple pages from, this I believe is Dixie Dust. I don't know if it's Files, but Dixie Dust is definitely her name. That she's under in Etsy. And she has these tattered papers. And then she has a purple set. She has a blue set, a pink set, and I think a green set. And my mom happened to grab the pink set, and it's absolutely gorgeous. She's like, oh, I think she came out with a purple one. And I went, what? And my printer printed upside down. I'm so frustrated. But I started playing with some of the pages to see how they'd print, because I have 25 of these pages, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do with them. Now, they look vertical. She did associate them vertically, but a lot of them, maybe not so much that one, but a lot of them you could totally make them horizontal, or you can, fold them vertically. I mean, it really just depends. Vertical does sort of take some of the fun out of the middle, but I think like this one would be absolutely gorgeous actually this way, as a horizontal. And the inside, even though now it was upside down technically, I could put a tuck or a belly band and sort of hide the fact that the thing is there. But they do have some universal use, but I had to do a shout out. These are absolutely gorgeous, and she has, like I said, pink, blue, and purple for sure. I don't remember if it was a green kit, but Pixie Dust. I will look her up and I'll try to put her in the link down below. But we are just raving with her things. She has paper kit, and then she has the ephemera kit to match each color. So I just went for the papers right now, but oh my gosh, I'm starting to print out some of my favorite pages out of it. These will probably go in some variation of in my idea book for my purple journal. And I think bits and pieces will probably get cut out and scrapped for other projects. So wanted to say hi and a shout out to that. And then these are cute little extras of ephemera, and they're going to be great to help fill in the gaps for what I have in our tall vintage journal. I think I'm adding a few more pockets, and I realized I don't have enough ephemera, but they were all sort of vintage. And this came from White Cat. She does wonderful ephemera, but she also does like folio kits where she gives you all the pieces and you can glue it all together and make all these lovely folios and whatnot. And I happen to get a neutral version so that I can decorate as I want, but she has them color coded. She has a purple kit. It's a little dark for me, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And so I went for the neutral, and I still have to print it out, but I saw these pages and I thought, oh, wouldn't this just save me a little bit of hassle real quick to finish off the tall journal? So I gotta go cut these out. But this is from White Cat. Again, I'll put her down below. And it comes with a full journal kit, folio kit that you get to, print out and cut and glue together and makes it cute. So that project maybe will be on camera too. I just don't know when. I've had them for a while and I keep meaning to do it, but I have to think my way through putting the folio together. That I probably won't be able to do on camera with you guys, but maybe once it's like glued together, then we can, you know, I can work on all the little details and decorate it up, and we'll decorate that folio. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A little extra Etsy share that isn't just all mine, because hey, you know, I love sharing, but these are definitely things I'm working with and working on, you know, in the very near future. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining along. There will be a full journal with me, craft with me. I'm working on this coming up next this week, maybe a little later this week. We will be, adding in the pockets and the tags and figuring out what little left I have to put in this thing that is sewn before we do any more work on the folio cover. And then that one can get in the shop. So thank you so much for joining me. Love you all. Subscribe, like, follow, notifications. Do anything and everything you can, especially if you're new to me. If you've been following me, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll continue to keep watching as I put stuff up. I know a lot more of my time and attention has been on Instagram, but I got to build that so that they'll come and watch me here. So love you all. Thank you so very much. This is Jolene with the Jewel Design, and I will see you guys all very soon.